So, bro, I actually nerded the fuck out about this game when I was doing it with my homie. We were super competitive with it. I created a Google spreadsheet because one of the things that the game doesn't do for you very well is like really prioritize what you need and what you don't. So you have positions that say you need them, but you don't always need to make them a top priority. I would do a spreadsheet so I could like really see where my top priorities were, but you don't need to do that. But the first thing you should understand when you're recruiting is what are your positions of need. Because there's nothing worse than like getting a 5-star recruit, but you actually already got a recruit last year who's better or something like that. So I would go to my school real quick. Scroll over with R1. R1. Yeah. And we can see our rankings. And then I think from here, I think there's an option to see a different screen. Oh, R3. Click R3. Cool. So here we go. This is the screen that I think is like way it takes too long to get here and it just could be better. So I essentially did it like a spreadsheet of this. So let's see. You probably don't need a quarterback because we got more coming in next year. But and you have yeah, so you can see so like for example with running backs, with a running back, you have 3 junior running backs. I think 1 or 2 could declare for the NFL. You need a running back for sure for Oregon offense. So running back might be one of my highest priorities. We don't run a fullback. Yeah, we just put the tight end back there when um and then looks like wide receiver you're pretty stacked. You have 4 freshmen right now. Um, Tight end you have 2 senior. You need a tight end really bad. You need a tight end really bad. Well, you have 2 seniors on the team, so that means you're losing 2. And then you only have 2 more. So you're losing 50% of your position. So that's why you need one. Mhm. You need like so like you need to replace 2 senior wide receivers as well, but also seniors it's not maybe as big of a priority because you have like 4 freshmen and some underclassmen. But pretty much everywhere you have seniors, you want to bring in a guy to replace those people. Yeah, dude. Yeah, you only have upperclassmen left tackles. You need left tackle. Yep, need left guard. Center, you're okay, but you could maybe use one more. Wow, Oregon barely has anyone on the offensive line. Yeah. Yeah, so like a good rule is like, and it takes a couple years in, is like you want to recruit almost like one of almost every position every year. And then the ones you want to prioritize the most and spend your money are the like positions of need and the positions of importance to you. Like you might be the type of guy where you play this game and you're like, oh, I really like to pass the ball. Or for me, my thing in this is I need to have a dual threat quarterback. I like dual threat quarterbacks where I have the option to run because I feel like it makes the game so much easier. So every year, I don't even care if he's top 10 at his position. I'm just looking for the best mobile quarterback that I can get on my team. And so like every year that was always like a priority to me. But the years where I landed like a 5-star mobile quarterback, I didn't worry about it as much. I was like, okay, well now I really only need another quarterback if this guy gets hurt. You know, I don't until he's like a junior. I don't even need to really think about recruiting another top mobile quarterback. So you're gonna have to decide what's important to you. Like maybe you like edge rushers, maybe you like having the best secondary so that people can't pass against you. Whatever it is that you like, you got to figure that out, and then you mix that in with the priorities. So, like I said, for me, it's the mobile quarterback. For you, it could be whatever. Um, Another one that became very important to me is in this game. I like power running backs better than fast running backs, but the running back I really want is fast and powerful. But the power backs in this game go crazy, especially if they're fast and strong. A power back, I can't believe you're not familiar with that term. It's just like it's like a style of running back. Power backs are typically like short yardage backs. They're typically running backs where strength is like a defining feature. Their break tackles high. No, you don't, bro. Did you play football? Bro, fullback is its own position. Fullback is determined because it's the one who leads blocks for the halfback. A power back is just a type of halfback. It's like calling someone a shooter in basketball. It's like, oh, you're a shooting guard, but you're a shooter. Or you could be a power forward, but you're still a shooter. It's just like an archetype. He's a, I was just he had never heard of power back before, and then I was describing him like all the features of power back, and then he goes, in football we just call those fullbacks. Bro, I played football too. So if you Google who are the best power backs of all time, a couple or who are the best power I just Googled who is the best power back, and you get a couple lists. One is from sportsillustrated.com, top 25 power running backs of all time. Yeah, it says power back refers to a player who inflicted as much or more punishment on defenders as he received. It's like a running style, like Jerome Bettis. Jerome Bettis is like one of the most like famous power backs. Yeah, he was like it. Like I said, it's like an archetype of player. Uh, Derrick Henry is like a common like today's power back. Marshawn Lynch is definitely a power back. Yeah, for sure, for sure. I'm just surprised you guys never like use that phrase because I felt like it's very common. I went to well, so I stopped playing football after my freshman year. I played football at Barlow High School, and then I went to Sandy High School where I graduated and played basketball. But I I feel you. Uh, uh, Another yeah, another example for Oregon would be Legarrette Blunt. Legarrette Blunt was definitely a power back. Yeah. Uh, but yeah, all good, all good, all good. I You just caught me off guard. You caught me off guard on that one. We call those fullbacks. What the- Oh yeah, Jonathan Stewart as well. And what's his name? The guy who went to the Broncos, who's kind of been a bust in the NFL. Why am I forgetting his name? Freeman. Um, what's Freeman's first name? Why can't I remember it? Royce Freeman. Okay. So we got a little off subject though, but I'm back looking at your stream, and so no, you're good. You're good. So on offense, we need to address the offensive line, and it looks like running back and kind of like tight end ish, were like your biggest positions of need. Yeah, like you have two senior defensive tackles, but you have three freshmen, and you have a junior coming back. So, cornerback, you probably need to get some because you're losing five. You do have a lot of others, but you're losing five. That's a lot. Yeah. Yeah. Yeah, and I forgot. Like another thing is, it's like it's good to look at that thing on the right. I wasn't really looking at the player list on the right because you can see, like, for example, if your starter is a sophomore, if your starter is a sophomore, and then the seniors leaving are like your bench players, then you don't have to prioritize them as much because you already have your starter. It's more like, is your starter leaving next year? Like, yeah, like in for your cornerbacks, all your best cornerbacks are all seniors. All your best cornerbacks are leaving. So you probably do need to get some recruiting in. Yeah. And so the next step, in my opinion, is deciding which players in here you want to prioritize the most. So we've already like nailed down some priority areas. Now we need to decide which players we actually prioritize the most, and then we go into the rest of the priority areas. So it's now like, what do you want to do? So recommended is great. Recommended is going to give you players that like have a good chance of going to your school if you recruit them right, but you don't have to limit yourself to recommended. It is where I like to start though. Yeah, you can go straight to top prospect. Yeah, straight to 5 stars. I like what you're doing. And so anyone, now this is really important. Anyone where it says stage, if it's open, anyone who's open means you can go get them. If they're blurred out and you can't, it's not white, you can't click on them, it means that they are not interested in coming to your school for, yeah, like Babers, like for whatever reason he's just not interested. It's probably because of his interest. Is look, you it's his deal breaker. I forgot about deal breakers. So you can see his deal breaker. Scroll over. Proximity to home. You need a B minus. You're an F. He's on the other side of the country. He's in Arkansas, so he wants to be closer. Yeah, yeah, yeah. So um, so let's go. Let's organize. Let's go back to recommended real quick. And then from here, let's organize the rating column by like highest to lowest. And this is typically how I start because these guys on my recommended are people that I have very good chances of getting. So currently you're in the target column. You want to scroll over to rating, just with your left stick. Yeah, with your left stick, and then go to rating. I think you press square. Yeah, square. And one more time because now you're in the lowest. There you go. And these are all the 5 stars recommended to you. And the best ones to start with are the ones that are already interested in you. And so from here, there's one other way to organize it. Let's go to interest, which is one column over to the right, INT, and then organize it by that. square. Now this is Oregon privilege. You don't get this as much when you play small schools. You don't get it nearly as much until you're really good. All these people, all yeah, dude, all these people already have you first. Now recruiting is based on resources. You have so much resources that you can recruit each week. So choosing guys that already have you first on your list that you don't have to work your way up to first, that you already have an advantage with, that is it advantageous to you because you therefore don't have to devote as many hours as you do with the guys who aren't first on your list. Also, it's really good to pay attention to the icon on the bottom right that shows your school, because sometimes you see right now Oregon's number one, and you can see the gap between you and that bar filling up. So that means you're really close to phase two. All these guys have 2 bars. You fill up 1 bar to get through phase one, and then they narrow down their schools. And then the next time the bar fills up, whoever fills it up first wins. But it doesn't even matter where you are at the end of the first bar for most players, for like 99% of players. It doesn't matter as long as you're in the top 8 or top 5. They'll cut it off, but you can keep recruiting them as long as you're in that cutoff point. So like it basically the stage changes from open to like top 8 or top 5, if that makes sense. You'll see right now for stage it says open for all these guys. Eventually their stages will drop, and once that first bar fills up, that's when they decide, okay, these schools are staying with me and can still recruit me. And then you fill up the bar again, because I know I just dropped a lot on you, so if I confused you more, I apologize. But essentially this cool. Yes, absolutely. And this game doesn't explain recruiting the best. So that's why like the majority of popular videos for this game are like recruiting explanations. But yeah, essentially you see the bar Oregon, Cal, USC, Fresno State, San Jose State. Once one team fills up the first bar, stage 2 will begin, and they'll go into a cutoff phase. They'll cut off certain schools. And then once that stage starts, whoever fills up the bar next gets the player. That's the simplest way I can explain it. Yeah, yeah. And targeting does nothing right now. All target does is help you like figure out the numbers. Like you're not spending any points to have them as a target. You can remove them as a target at any point. I do think it's good to go through like this, or bro, the actual simplest way to do it. So wait 1 second. Go to recruiting board. L1. Now look at this. All your positions, all your positions are mixed up. If you're a freak like me, you can do it position at a time. And you can just start, you can go quarterback, running back, fullback if you choose to go fullback. So just remove all your targets. Yeah, it just means you because otherwise when you go to your recruiting board, the positions are all out of whack. So one thing for me that made it nice, because eventually a guy's gonna pass on you. You're gonna recruit him. You're gonna spend points. He's gonna pass on you, and then you might be scrolling down your list and you find a hard time finding another guy at that same position. So that's why I like all the quarterbacks I recruit to be next to each other, all the running backs I recruit to be next to each other, all the wide receivers I recruit to be next to each other, all the linebackers to be next to each other, all the linemen to be right next to each other. So when one goes, or if I choose to quit recruiting one guy, I can instantly just like remove him from my list and focus on the next guy who's one name away from him. Yeah, yeah. And then you can also organize it. You can also go off recommended, the R2, and you can go to I think positions. I think positions is in the R2, but that's up to you. Okay, cool. Oh yeah, and you can see recommended positions L2. Okay, cool. Yeah, man. So, but yeah, now it's on. But here's the one other important thing: scout these guys, bro. You need to scout them first. Well, once you target them, then it's worth the hours to scout. So some of the guys, they're a bust, and there are diamonds. Um, the diamond players, and I might be having the wrong terminology because it's been like 2 months since I played. The diamond players are better than their rating show, or they have more potential than their rating show. Like they might come in as a 4-star, but they have 5-star potential. If you get a 5-star diamond, it means he's like elite. He's going to be like a first round draft pick and going to be really good. Um, you gotta scout him. You gotta scout him. But and to scout, you need to have your target. Like target. Let's just go with Barry Burden. Let's just start with him. Click on Barry Burden, make him a target. Go to recruiting board, and now press A on him. Go to recruiting, and now the first thing you can do is oh yeah, and then before you offer a scholarship, don't offer the scholarship yet. Go to scouting, and you have 1,125 points. I can't believe this dude is thinking about going to Washington. So you have points to spend. You have 35 scholarships to offer. It doesn't explain it to you. Yeah. And now here's another thing. Here's another thing we need to do is you're gonna earn coach attribute points. You earn them through doing things. I can't talk. And you get these coach attribute points. Put them into your recruiter, and then when you put them into recruiter, you can scout these guys faster. It takes like less time. It'll cost like 5 points instead of 10, and it'll finish in like less rounds. But essentially, you need to offer 35 scholarships. That's all you can do right now. You can't actually recruit them. Like all the other recruiting options don't show up until next week. All you can do is offer scholarships. So that means you have 5 times 35, which is 175 hours of scholarships to send out, and the rest of it all can be spent on recruiting. Essentially, I'm pretty sure, or scouting. Excuse me, scouting. All the rest of it can be spent on scouting. Because scout him again, real quick. He's at 40%. Yeah. We got to get him to 100. One more. One more. And you see how more attributes show up. So this allows you to see more of what you're getting. And then this guy is neither a bust or a diamond. He is just a regular 5-star. He's just regular 5-star. This guy's going to be good. Regular 5-star is a good player. And now let's go back to overview real quick. You need the L1. So when you look at this, this information is going to tell you, okay, I can go after this guy, but there are other schools I'm competing with, and this could be a reason why you may not go after him. You could be like, you know what? I don't want to compete with Washington and Ohio State. I don't know. Let's go over to recruiting real quick with the R1 button. Can we not see it yet? Can we go? Let's see. Can we go back to recruiting board? I want to show you one last thing, and then I'm almost to the point where I'm just going to shut the fuck up and let you do it. Go back to recruiting board. So I think circle. Yeah, circle button. Yep. Oh, prospect list. I'm tripping. And then you see Burden down there. Yeah, there's Burden. Click the R stick over, or R3 to change from deal breaker. So deal breaker being and do it. Okay, that's all we can see. We can't see anything else. So deal breaker is really important. So listen, if another school has A+ deal playing time, their points, they could spend the same amount of points as you, and their points will go significantly further. Yeah, computers. But they're not dumb. They will take the good players. So I don't know if you can look at it from here. But if Washington or Ohio State has like way more playing time, this might not be a guy you want to go after. You might want to consider a different quarterback where your deal breaker is in the A's or like a B plus. But but it's up to you, and this is what makes it fun and addictive. Like this is literally like me and my friend like agreed. This is like almost competing against each other for recruits is almost more fun than playing the game because like they definitely have a good control of the algorithm where you can win most of the time if you're going after the right recruits, but you still lose some that you feel like you should have won. And it's kind of funny. It simulates real life. But so yeah, there is some RNG, but for the most part, if you're recruiting guys where their deal breaker lines up with something you're strong at, you're good. This guy at B minus, like I said, you might be able to get him. You might be able to get him. So I don't want to dissuade you if you want to try for him. But if you have another quarterback you like where you're better on the deal breaker, where you're an A, I would it would be easier to go after that guy. And so you have lots of scouting hours. I'd scout the shit out of these guys and maybe take a quarterback that's like a diamond. Like a 4-star diamond is just as good as a 5-star, like for sure. Looks like their stats are very similar. One of the stats you don't care about if you're playing, if you're playing, you don't really need to care that much about awareness. Awareness is kind of like an AI stat. It's like, okay, this guy makes bad decisions, this guy makes good decisions when you're simulating. Go back to Burden real quick. I want to see his awareness. I don't know. I honestly don't know. There's like I don't know the tiers of abilities, but I can Google it real quick. I think purple is better. There is bronze, silver, gold, and platinum. So yeah, yeah, purple's better than gold. Yeah, so they're just gone. They're just gone. But this week in particular, you can't. You all you can do this week is offer scholarships. So you have all these extra hours to scout. So like, dude, if I were you, just keep scouting quarterbacks. Keep scouting quarterbacks. I don't know what the deal breaker was for that second quarterback, but what was his deal breaker? Oh, so we'll go back to Beatty. Coach Prestige, you have B plus. So that means you're in a better position where your points will count for more compared to Burden. But let's keep going. I think quarterbacks are a really important guy to nail for your first recruiting class. Like for your first recruiting class, I think getting a good quarterback is like very important, or at least a quarterback you're gonna like. I know. But like, it just depends on how long you play. Eventually, you're gonna get to a point where you're only gonna be using your recruited guys, and then you won't. What's that? Yeah, dude. That's when it really gets fun because then it's like all your own players and you remember recruiting them and shit. Um, but yeah, so go to Alvarez, D Alvarez, real quick. Okay, your deal breaker is B plus, just like with the other guy. Improviser. Yeah, go click on him. Click on him. Scout him out.